Normally I play the original before I play a remaster or a remake, but Mafia Definitive Edition, it was on sale for $9, all 3 of them, and that's a hell of a deal. The Definitive Edition is much prettier and it modernizes the game, and I mean like in a good way, not in like a microtransaction half the game kind of way. I mean like it adds things like cover and smoother driving, and lowers the difficulty to be a more reasonable level. But you can still have it at the old difficulty if that's what you want. You play as Tommy, a cab driver who accidentally got connected to the mob, and now you're in it. The game has you talking to a detective, and every time you tell a story, it flashes back. It takes place between 1933 all the way to 1938. So that means there's a lot going on. There's the Great Depression, there's the Prohibition and stuff. For a tiny history lesson, the Prohibition was when a group of women said, hey, maybe don't drink so much, it's not so good. And then the government banned alcohol, except there were still ways to get it, like through the mob or becoming Catholic. And then women were like, oh shit, what if instead of banning drinking, you just like drink more responsibly, And then the men said, no, it's all or nothing. But then they eventually caved in and they said, okay, we'll try that whole responsibility thing. And this matters, right? Because our mob in the first half is selling booze. But in the second half of the game, booze is legal. So some of our income is gone now because you can just legally buy it. And you want to know something crazy that don't even have to do with this game, alright? So I'm talking to this buddy from Mississippi, and he says the prohibition there didn't end till the 60s. And then they had the counties decide, and so there was dry counties and wet counties, and it wasn't until 21 that it was fully legalized everywhere there. But it still got dry counties and shit. Cause he was telling me, right, that the gas stations down there don't really have alcohol. So when he came up here and he saw that they had booze in our gas station, he was like, oh, that's different. Also, that same week, that gas station he saw got robbed, and it was their booze spot. Like, they just stole a bunch of wine and shit. Anyway, I'm getting way off track. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the Great Depression. That's just the period of time your mom experiences when I'm not fucking her. Now, Mafia isn't as open world as I thought. Sure, it has one, but it's more level by level based, and roaming in the open world is a separate mode that honestly doesn't have a lot going on. So in your gang, you got your boss, you got Vinny, Polly, Frank, and Sam, and these are the main character boys. And for being good fellas, these are actually kind of bad fellas. So in Mafia, there's a few things you do. Fighting involves ducking and sometimes throwing grenades nonchalantly. Driving cars sucks ass, but like in a good way, and what I mean by that is cars handle badly and they don't go fast, but that's how it should be. These are old ass cars, and more often than not, they honestly drive slow and obey traffic. Which is also cool, because I love the scenery. I'll tell you what, 1930s sucked ass for everyone to live there, but I love how the cars looked, and I love the trench coats and the hats and all that. I will say too many times though, the fucking AI would try to kill me with their driving, and this might be some of the worst drivers in an open world game I've ever played. Why the fuck was he gonna go? Like, sure, I didn't see no stop sign for either of us, but even still, he had the gall to honk at me when he was the dumbass who decided to go when a car was there. And here's another one. This guy just comes straight into my lane without looking. Like, oh shit, man, I was feeling my road rage and I wasn't even driving in real life. And then here's this one. This fuck swerved into me for literally no reason. And this is common shit, man. I was getting pissed. Not only is it bad, but I swear there's no signs for anyone, so it's like a lawless road where anything can happen. But honestly, just driving around can also be hella relaxing. And you know what sucks though? There's this level where you gotta race a car, and I've just never been good with racing at all. This was by far the hardest part of the game for me. I figured it was because I suck at racing, but no, actually apparently a lot of people struggle here, so I was like, you know what? Fuck that part. I beat it, but I failed a lot. Jesus! Rough racing out there. Combat feels good. The stealth is alright, but underutilized. There's also little collectibles of real pulp magazines you can collect, and I thought that's pretty cool. I thought it could be fun to buy and read one for the video, but it turns out they go for a pretty penny, and I'm not going to be spending a lot if I don't gotta. I also like these little parts where you just walk with people. Sure, it's nothing, but it's also like, it's a lot, okay? This is my girl, and I'm walking with her home to keep her safe, and this is also the nicest and best fucking thing I've done all game, and I love it. Plus, it gives me time to get to know and care about her. I get to see different things about her, like how she helping people who was hungry and shit. Story-wise, you do various mob shit for your boss, and it often turns out bad. Straight up, I would have killed my boss around the middle of the game if it would have let me. He's like, Frank betray me, go kill Frank. So I go kill him, and Frank's like, you know the boss wants to kill my dog. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You never touch a man's dog. He crossed the line way too far. I would kill him if I could. If anyone ever touched my dog, So I don't kill Frank, and I just lie about it. I say I do. And then he has me assassinate a guy. And then later, I get home to my wife, and she's like,
it says in the paper he's going to be remembered for fighting to pass the 19th Amendment. Put his whole career on the line for it.
Which one was that again?
Women's suffrage, you idiot. He gave me the right to vote, Tom. Gave it to his wife and 6 daughters, too.
fucking yikes. Then he lies to us about shit that could send us to jail. So Paulie, he says let's do something for ourselves and not for the boss. Let's rob a bank, which is fair. I'm in the mob doing crazy shit. I could be balling. I should be a made man, but I'm barely doing better than if I just worked a regular ass job. So me and Paulie, we rob a bank. We plan on ditching the city, but Sam fucking shoots Paulie and he's like, hey, the boss is gonna reward me for shooting you traitors. And I'm like, nah, Sam, I'm gonna kill you right now. I'm gonna fucking staple your nuts to the fucking wall, Sam. Sam even has the fucking nerve to bring up this one time where I was supposed to kill a hooker and he asked me not to, so I didn't, but then he brings that up like that was me disobeying the boss, like he didn't ask me to not kill her, like I didn't just save his lover, who his mind was on, who is a human being and not some pawn in a twisted game. Nah, fuck you, Sam. So I kill Sam. And I get the boss arrested. But then years later, when I'm an old man living with my family, some fucks show up to my house and they say like, boss sends his regards. And then they fuck up, boom! I'm laying dead in my lawn. Lesson here is nobody winning the mob. No, sir. In my opinion, the lesson is some people need to die. And the boss is one of them. Hell, not only would I be alive if I had killed him, but also I'd get revenge for all the fuckers he screwed. Hell, I even spent jail time for my crimes just to get shot by the fuck's new goons later. Anyway, I really like Mafia. It has its flaws, it's nowhere near perfect, and the racing sucks, but I had a pretty good time here, and I found the story interesting, the gameplay fun, and the atmosphere really cool. So this is the definitive edition of Mafia 2. Unlike the first one, this one isn't a remake. This is just Mafia 2 but with DLC. And that's totally fine. This one goes from 1943 to the mid-1950s, so we got different historic events going on this time. We start off as a soldier in World War II, and then the rest of the game is us back from war and getting back on our feet again. This time we play as a character named Vito. Now Vito's papa is dead and his mama and his sister have been left with a debt they need to pay, which is the main reason you're doing your shady shit. Mainly with a guy named Joe, who's honestly the fucking worst. Your mom's like, Vito, please go get an honest job. So you give it a try and you do back-breaking work for fucking pennies, but then you decide it ain't worth it, and that it's prime time crime time. Straight up, I don't like these characters as much as the last ones, and maybe it's the way the game is. See, in the first game, you got to hang out with Sarah, your wife, and that was your outside of the mob influence on you. So you got to like her, you got to know her more, you got to hear her opinions, etc. It ain't that way here. Your mom and your sister, who are your outside influence for the mob here, Vito never visits them unless they're in trouble. That's really the only times you see them. Sure, maybe he does like off missions or whatever, but then you don't get to see that. But what that means is we don't get to know them that well. I can't tell you anything about his sister other than things that happen to her, not things that are about her. She gets into debt, we give her some money. She's getting married, we give her some money. Mom dies, we give her some money. Her boyfriend hits her. We don't give her money, we go beat up her boyfriend. That might be the only good thing we did in this game, to be honest, other than pay off her debt. Vito doesn't have the kind of conscience that Tommy has. And don't get me wrong, I get that these are mobsters, I do. I just feel I could relate to Tommy far more than Vito. Joe is your ride or die friend, and despite how fucking awful he is very loyal. The story's kinda all over the place in this one, but some main beats are, there is the worst fucking annoying character named Marty, who for some reason we keep putting up with. People like this are some of the people in life I hate the most, and just existing around this loser makes me want to kill him.
Hey Joe. So, what kind of job is it?
The kind you don't need to know about. Gabish.
Oh, okay. But hey, if you need it, I got my piece. Right here.
Plus, I'm pretty sure that explosives and car crashes don't go together too good.
Explosives?
Yeah, for a little fireworks show. Forget you heard that.
So, fellas, come on, tell me. What's going down at the hotel, huh? Huh? Come on.
Well, what are you, writing a book? I already told you everything you need to know.
Hey, I'm just curious, you know? So you're gonna blow the hotel sky high, huh?
Marty!
Sorry.
One more word out of you.
It doesn't matter though, because Marty fucking dies and then Joe gets all sad about it and I can't even pretend to feel bad. Fuck Marty. Also, Joe kills an innocent dude while in a drunken stupor because of it. And do you think he feels bad about that? No. He just feels bad about Marty because he knew Marty. What a load of horsecock. I wanted to put two in his head the first second I heard Marty speak. It's not my fault Joe's too dumb to see what a load of trouble Marty had been. Marty dead was a fucking blessing, because that crazed immature maniac would have done something to fuck up our lives. He the kind of shit who probably hurt animals for fun. He the kind of shit who watches execution videos and shares them at a workplace, you know? Like, obviously he didn't do those things, but this is the type of man he is. I've known enough devils to know he is one. Cruelty for the sake of cruelty will always be disgusting to me, and that's how I feel about Marty. I feel like that's who he is. Shortly later, a different buddy of ours, Henry, dies to some Chinese folks, so we go and get revenge. But Jesus Christ, can't we get revenge without every word out of our mouth being racist? Everyone we know in this game, the second a Chinese person is brought up, even if they didn't say anything rude to us, we are going wild with slurs and rude remarks. And yes, again, I know I'm a mobster, I do. But where the fuck is the class, man? Tommy had some class. You don't fuck with Tommy, but Tommy also had brains. Vito, I don't know if there's anything I like about this guy, I swear. Honestly, the highlight and craziest part of the story is when we get hired to kill someone for a totally different mob guy, and who do we meet? It's Tommy. Vito and Joe are the guys who kill Tommy. This ain't even a big part of the story, this is just like one of the missions, and we don't know a lot about it. But that's honestly really fucking cool that it was us who did that. That we are the ones who killed the dude from the first game here from the second game. That's fucking sick. Another huge highlight for me is the whole prison chapter. See, we end up in prison for selling gas stamps, which was a way of rationing fuel during war times. But we's fucking stealing them and selling them for profit, so we end up in prison. And in prison we meet a special mob guy who becomes like our mentor type guy. And we enter a fight club sort of thing here, and I just really love prison fight club stories. I'm not sure why I love prison fight club stories, but they always are interesting to me. Undisputed 2 is a fucking great movie. I want to say the third one is also that, but I don't remember. You can skip the first movie though. It's totally different. Anyway, back to the game. It's absolutely gorgeous. I could look at the snowfall all goddamn day. I wish I had just kept a save of just the snow area just so I could go back and do that. The whole game, other than a lot of the character models, are gorgeous. Usually. Sometimes it suffers from weird flickering and such, but for the most part, it's pretty. There's also a ton of Playboys to collect, which I think would be cool if it was time period accurate. Like, sure, by the end of the game it's 1953 and Playboy would have just started, but how are these guys in the 1940s reading dirty magazines from the future? I for sure like the pulp magazines from the first game better. Also, I can't show you any of the Playboy stuff, you're just gonna have to take my word it's in the game. Otherwise YouTube's gonna shut me the fuck down. A few new mechanics are here. If your car is too well known, you have to change the plates and shit. And if you are well wanted, then you got some limited customization options for buying clothes so that people don't recognize you. And let me tell you, there are hard-working salesmen to sell you clothes. Even during a firefight, they are here to help.
Gotta shake the cops.
Good afternoon, sir.
Is that the fucking best you got?
Let me go.
Oh, you're in trouble. It's fucking over.
This led me to picking outfits I didn't mean to. Hell, I went to go kill my father's killer, well dressed like the man in the yellow hat, father of Curious George. Driving wise, I'm still not the best driver, but I do what I can.
What about the money?
Hey, I almost forgot. Eddie paid me in advance, so here's your share. You drive like my fucking grandmother, you know that?
Also, I haven't played the non-definitive edition, so I can't tell you if it's this buggy, but I can for sure tell you this definitive edition is. It crashed on me multiple times, and there was times where they just kept talking over each other or repeating lines.
Take it easy. El Greco's gonna fix you.
Chest. Yeah.
Take it easy. El Greco's gonna fix you.
Sure.
Sit back. The more you whine about it, the worse it's gonna be.
So listen, Vito.
The more you whine about it, the worse it's gonna be.
Thanks.
Hey, we're in this
Coming
together,
after
right?
me.
Just
and
let go.
almost getting yourself killed.
Now just
So listen,
get the
Vito.
fuck back before you get blood all over my pants and I really do
Thanks.
stab you in the chest. Hey, we're in this together, right? Just let go.
Picked a hell of a time to turn
Now
into a
just
fucking
sit the fuck
comedian.
back before you get blood all over my pants and I really do stab you in the chest.
The game ends with us having to ditch Joe to save our own skin. Shortly after, he literally saved our skin. Overall, the game's still a good one, but it didn't feel as strong to me as the first one. I found myself bored with it at times. I didn't even touch the DLC because I bought Street Fighter 6 and I really wanted to play that instead. I'd say the game is good, but not great, and I prefer the first one.
$2 million per split. It's a damn shame what happened. It breaks my heart.
I know what Sal did to you, Lincoln. But nothing you do will bring any of them back.
Well, what you gonna do, nigger? This.
It's gonna be a different story.
I don't think you want to go against me.
Mafia 3 is not a good Mafia game. You don't spend a lot of time with your crew, you are alone for most of it, being your own boss. It doesn't have the mission structure of the old games, and it has a very different feel and writing style. It's understandable why some people don't like it. On the other hand, Mafia 3 is a good Punisher game. You come back from war, everyone you love gets killed by the mob, you get shot and left for dead, and you spend your life hunting down the shits responsible. It's a top-notch Punisher game. Now obviously there are differences, like it's set in the 1960s and you are a very tall and fit Dominican man named Lincoln Clay, but like so what, it's like alternate timeline Punisher shit and that's still cool. Hell, I think Lincoln Clay is by far the coolest of the protagonists, of the three Mafia protagonists, and he's my favorite too. And his strength is actually crazy. Mafia 1 and 2, you're a badass, but Mafia 3, you're like comic book level superhero. top that with the best soundtrack of the 3 games, and I'm sorry folks, but this is my favorite of the 3. So we were part of a gang that also worked for another gang. See, the biggest gang belonged to Sal Marco, and he decided that once we pull off our big heist, he's gonna kill us and then take the money we got. Only problem here is he didn't know Lincoln Clay was a weapon of mass destruction that once he pulled that trigger, set it off. Now Lincoln ain't just taking over the town himself. Well, okay, that's not really true, he kinda is, but he's also delegating the work to a few others. We got Thomas Burke. He's this drunk, loudmouth, racist garbage man who offers the worst rewards and is always unpleasant to be around. We got Cassandra. She's smart as shit, tough as nails, and willing to play dirty to get things done. And we got Vito from the second game. He's back. And unlike in the second game, I actually don't dislike him as much. To be honest, older Vito is kinda charming and has joined up with us because he was being treated unfairly by his mafia bosses. And by being treated unfairly, I do mean that they tried to kill him. Also, Vito offers the best rewards.
Make the right choice here and I'll whip up some fresh bucatini for you.
Gonna need Vito to run this turf.
Who do I love? You, that's who, you big, beautiful black bastard.
So we all sit at this table whenever I take over a territory, and then we decide who gets what. And your choices matter, because if someone feels like they're being treated unfair by you, they might turn on you. In this particular case, Burke turned on me, and I had to kill him, which wasn't even an issue, because I was actually treating him unfairly, but that's because he was being a piece of shit, and I'd much rather trust Cassandra and Vito with stuff. So I actually did kind of want him gone. So yeah, I know that was really not a problem. But I think it's cool. This is a thing. You do have other friends who help out too. You got this FBI agent named Donovan who's kind of insane, and you got a preacher who is more of your spiritual guy than like a fighter. Now, one interesting part of this game is the racism. The amount of racist bastards you get to kill makes me a happy boy, and they don't really shy away from it. Honestly, it makes killing them that much more satisfying. You fight the KKK, you're rescuing human traffic victims.
Let me go.
We'll start the bidding at $1,000. Do I hear 1,000? 1,000. Do I hear 2,000?
You can't do this.
3,000. 4.
Hell, there's even this wild, over-the-top racist dude who takes over a whole abandoned carnival and tries to spook you with stories of the Ragaroo hunting down black people, and you have to go shoot him and his Dixie Boys out, and tell me that don't sound straight out of a comic book. Hell, it's literally Punisher again. You got the whole abandoned carnival thing again.
Now on your ride, we got the carnival carousel. Nice place for you boys and girls to
Let's go, you bunch of pansies.
returning to the ways of their African ancestors. And an elder named Papa Mojo led them back to that old heathen practice known as voodoo.
And then you hang him by his neck on a Ferris wheel to send a message, and it's fucking badass. Now, gameplay-wise, this isn't a mission-to-mission structure the way the other games are. It's an open world, you choose your mission, you go out there, which I do prefer, but I also know others who feel the opposite way and would prefer to just go mission to mission. I think where Mafia 3 fails and why people like it the other way is because Mafia 3 is very repetitive. You can fight at the same place, basically the same fight multiple times. While there is a lot of good here, there is just a lot of filler. A ton of filler, which the other games didn't really have because they made sure the story was moving quickly. You go from one mission to the other mission. So I understand why they didn't like it, because now they're stuck with a bunch of filler. In Mafia 3, we'll have like one great mission, and then like 4 or 5 filler missions before you get another good mission. And so that adds up. Sure, it pads out the game, but I'd much rather have a shorter, super fun game than a longer, usually fun game. It also has its fair share of other issues. The faces and cutscenes have this weird blur effect on them, and also the outfit you pick doesn't always show up in the cutscene. and the game freezes and crashes and has quite a few bugs that aren't that bad but still needs fixed. It's really just the crashing that's like the one non-nitpicky thing where I'm like, yeah, that needs fixed.
Someone's murdering us.
You're gonna tell me everything Puppy's up to at the dump.
These issues cause Mafia 3 to only be a great game. When I think if the filler was fixed and the bugs were tweaked and all of this other shit, this could have been a all-time great instead of just a great. The story ends with you killing Sal, and then you have the choice to stay behind and rule or leave it behind. I choose to leave it behind, and I made Cassandra the one I left in charge. It must be because I gave both her and Vito 5 territories, so it just picked one of them. But that's cool that there's multiple endings depending on your decision. Now, I would have said this was only a good game. What really brought it up for me to being a great game, but still not an all-time great, was the DLCs. The DLCs are pretty fantastic, and once again, they can be a little comic booky, which I was enjoying. You got one where you travel to an island with Donovan to kill some dudes who stole a nuke, and you gotta get that back for the US government. And then you got one where you team up with this badass Roxy, and you gotta kill the cops of a racist sundown town to defeat the KKK, and then you and Roxy are fucking and shit. And then you got this one where there's an evil ass cult killing people and you gotta do detective work to learn about them, and then you go after them, and they got this drug that like kind of gives you little bits of fear, like the Scarecrow fear gas, but not quite as bad, but it makes others crazy. And so you basically go to Arkham Asylum to deal with the nuts and stop the cultists. So yeah, I don't know what else to say other than these were really cool. And I'm telling you, this is a good Punisher game. This is a top-notch Punisher game. Best Punisher game there is out there. Anyway, this is a nice series. Glad I picked it up for the cheap. I even got to play it at the same time as another friend, and we got to talk about it as we both played. Anthony, hope you're having a good day. Thanks for playing with me too, Anthony. Glad I finally got to get around to playing the Mafia 3 games, and I'm looking forward to Mafia Old Country whenever that comes out.
You bring nothing but death with your mystic blade. The filth will not forget their place.